Alright guys, I am halfway through the install on my gauges. I figured I'd make a small little video. I guess I'll show you a couple tips I've done in the past. This wire, it's cased. I actually took this from I forgot at work what we had to wire up, but they just gave you all this wire. Well, to wire up my lights for the gauges, I'm going to hook them up to the headlights, but I don't want to hook them up to the inside just for the case, in case something's wrong. It's easy. It's actually easier to get to under the hood. So I'm actually going to wire these up into the pigtail of my headlights. And now you might be asking me why does that make, why do I need to know this? Well, save wires. Stuff like this, it's nice, it's cased, it looks factory. Whenever you get any little project, especially if you work on cars, you save that stuff. I save any long strands of wire. Wire is expensive. So another thing too is you can see I took out my water pump drive. Now a couple years ago I had some issues after I put the Rob MC pump on there, which is a 6-vein NASCAR style pump, and it's probably one of the best mechanical fuel pumps you can get. Well, I can't run any of my accessory drives on that side. It's way too big. So I had to go back to the right side. Well, my problem is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have this limiter strap, which is actually from a Lakewood traction action bar. I took this rod that's threaded. It's got heim joints. It's real nice. I had these things lying around. And I went ahead and I put a stud on the block. Well, guess where that needs to go? Right where the alternator bracket has to go. And guess where I can't mount my water pump drive on that side, because I already have everything wired up on this side with GM weather packs over here. So I had to come up with a unique solution to that. And I have an extended stud, and then my my water pump drive goes in here. And then you can see I got another heim joint over here. Sorry if the camera's wobbly, I'm over here fitting it. And that just came out. So I need to re-thread that in there. But this goes in here. I adjust my height and it keeps this water pump drive steady. And yes, I do drive on the street with that thing, and I have for many years, guys. So don't go crazy buying an electric water pump. These drives actually work good if you replace the motor that it comes with a good one. Like that one, I actually picked up at a swap meet, and it's an old school Stewart style setup where it had a clutch and it would engage and disengage at certain engine RPMs and the motor would take over, so I had a switch. I'm just using the motor. But the Moroso replacement motors are this nice canned body. It's pretty heavy duty. The ones that they give you are like tin. They look like cheap RC car motors. This actually looks like something that, if you were able to adjust it and have more stuff, like anybody who's raced RC cars, this pretty much resembles what a high quality motor would be, except, I can't replace the brushes and I can't change the timing of the motor, but it's a lot nicer of a design than what they provide. So, and then I'll take you around over to the other side. I'll show you how I wired up the gauges. And I went ahead, I did everything in series. And since I do have to hook up my AFR gauge, I ended up having to remove my source for my 12 volt for my old gauges. And I probably shouldn't tell you guys this, but I don't have reverse lights. So I went ahead and I took off I unplugged the reverse switch, and that is a constant 12 switched on. And I guess you could tap into it since you don't really use your reverse much. Only a partial time, and you can still have your reverse, but that's another area you can have an isolated 12. For me, I'm actually using the pink wire from the ignition switch, since I'm hooked up on a switch panel and I kind of bypass all that. The only thing I use the key for is to literally activate my distributor. So without turning the key on, my distributor would not activate, which I guess I don't have an anti-theft anymore. Probably shouldn't tell you guys that either, but yeah, my car, you can sit there and crank it with the push button, but unless you have the key and it's turned, then you won't be able to. But yeah, guys, that's what I got going on. I'm halfway through just the gauges and that install. I'll be doing the AFR gauge tomorrow. I'm going to have to weld a bung, drop the exhaust, do all that fun crap. And I'll keep you guys posted. This is just part way through. I'm literally getting ready to just put it all back together and button it up. Figured I'd show you guys some of the little ins and outs I got going on there. So hope you guys are following. Hope you guys are enjoying. Subscribe on YouTube, Copper Cutlass, and Facebook, Copper's Garage.